Howdy, Beefalo Bart here, and this video is going to be a little bit more just straight talking, and it's going to be a little bit shorter than normal, and I'm not going to distract myself by running around and actually doing anything. Going to get to the point instead of trying to bore everybody. What I would like to talk about is upcoming patch 1.8 and what it's going to mean for the casual gamer. Okay, and to touch on the major points for patch 1.8, if you look at the map, we're going to get a new section of the map. This is all free content. This is not DLC. We're going to get the West Side Pier area. It's going to be broken up into two main sections, and it's roughly going to be split somewhere along in here, but it's going to extend all the way up, including all 12th Avenue and part of the pier system, and all the way up to either 55th Street or 57th Street, somewhere in that area. And right over here, this big area that is currently got a big giant fence in front of it, and all the fences blocking the roadways going into there are going to be opened up. You'll be able to go into this area, and that's going to be awesome. Okay, now what else is really awesome about it? There's going to be a new mini base of operations, and it's going to have all the same functionality of the normal base of operations, but in a smaller area. All right, okay, cool. So I'm assuming that that's going to be solo only, as opposed to when you go down into the terminal where I'm standing now, or actually where I was standing earlier. The terminal is actually where you can see other people, but your main base of operations, you're by yourself. Nobody else can join you in that. I'm not sure yet whether or not, if you're in a group, if your other group members can share the same mini base of operations. We'll see once the thing comes out. The next big thing about the new expansion in this area here is, well, a new spawn system. Unlike right now, if you come over here and you're on the corner of 10th Avenue and 46th Street, if you walk down the block, encounter one spawn patrol here, we'll say, and maybe one right over here on this corner that's patrolling this way, and then one on 47th Street. As soon as you come back over and you can loop back around, keep making the same path, maybe incorporate 2 blocks, you're going to encounter the same spawns over and over again and be able to farm those same spawns. That's not going to happen in the new zone. The new area here on the West Side Pier Zone is going to have what they're calling a dynamic spawn system. And what that's going to mean for everybody is, if you're standing here on the corner of 12th and 46th, you may get fresh spawns come in behind you and in front of you. They may spawn over here, they may spawn over here, they may spawn over here. You don't know when and where they're going to spawn, so it keeps it fresh. There's no more just farming the same spawns over and over again. It's going to be new. I mean, you don't know what to expect. So if you come down and start on 12th Avenue right here, 41st, and you walk all the way up to 55th Street, and then turn right around and walk back again, and then walk back again, every time you go back and forth up and down that street, you're going to have a whole new experience each time, because it's going to be a random spawn system and fully dynamic based on where you are. And there's going to be new buildings you can go into. I believe there's a discotheque or a nightclub you can actually go into. Yes, I'm old, shut up. Discotheque, you old fart. Anyway, I'm not going to mention anything about that. If you haven't seen the videos talking about the new area and that new club, yeah, you're going to want to go check it out. It's pretty cool. So yeah, the dynamic spawns, pretty awesome. Now, another feature for this new area that's nowhere else in the game is a dynamic mission structure. You're going to have, say, one in the north, one in the south, and you'll get a notification saying that the whoever's are attacking the nightclub. So you're going to have to go all the way up, find the nightclub, go in, clear it out. Now, that's cool by itself. Being that it's a dynamic means your role of that mission may say that you're going to have to go and clear them out, but you can only use a pistol. Okay, I think that right there adds a whole new degree of fun to it, because I'm assuming that if you go in there and it says kill 12 with a pistol, and you go in there and use a shotgun or an assault rifle or a sniper, you won't get a bonus, so to speak. I would imagine if you go in there and use the pistol only, or whatever the mission says to do, then hopefully you'll get a bonus for accomplishing it as dictated by the individual mission. Then as soon as you complete that one, you're going to have randomly another one that'll be in the next zone down in the south zone. And then once you clear that one, then it's going to be timed events back and forth between north and south. You're not going to have two south, you're not going to have two north back to back. You'll have to go between the two zones. Okay, that's pretty cool also. For those who've actually paid attention to the map and have been able to see this right here, the Intrepid, it's an aircraft carrier. Now, there's going to be a new mission structure for going into, it's been termed Horde mode, and it actually has a name. I don't recall what the actual name of it is, but what it essentially is going to boil down to is you'll start off with, say, some reds. Some easier enemies are going to come out. You're going to clear them out, and then a little bit harder on the second wave and third wave and fourth wave, progressively waves of harder and harder enemies. And from what they're saying, yes, you will be able to go and do this solo. It is a soloable thing, and just like with the rest of the map and the rest of the stuff, it scales based on the number of people in your party. If there's one person, then they're going to be easier to take down than if there was 4 people in the group, and one person trying to take down an individual NPC. It's a little bit more challenging whenever there's 4 people in the group to take down each individual mob. So yeah, it scales based on the number of people in your group. So that's going to be awesome. I'm going to be doing some videos on that for sure, and I'm definitely going to go ahead and try running through it solo to see how well it works, and with different setups. And of course, I'm going to use my my usual Tactician Seeker build, just to see how well that works. One more thing that's coming up in 1.8 that off the top of my head is the variance between rate of fire. Prime example is Bullfrog, high rate of fire, 900 rounds per minute, plus 47 because of mods that I've got on here. But we'll just look at the base RPMs of this and the overall stats of the gun. We'll end up with, in this particular case, 352,000 on firepower, and that's not bad. But you come down here to the Cadizas, or you come down to any of the AK variants, like the Warlord, 600 rounds per minute. But you look at the individual bullet damage of 25.7k, but yet it's 220k on firepower, with 25.7k damage. The Bullfrog only has 18.6k damage. That's a big jump. I mean, you're talking 352,000 versus 220? What, 130,000 difference in firepower? That's a big jump. But the individual bullets will do more damage on paper because of that base stat. How much damage the weapon is capable of doing per shot. The per shot damage is higher on this than it is on the Bullfrog, but the Bullfrog has higher firepower. That's going to balance out because of the way the percentages scale on on weapons firepower. I'll cover more of that once it's actually clear and I can actually make it more understandable. So we'll move on from that. Dark Zone system is changing slightly. The rogue system, to go rogue, you actually have to select a button and say, yes, I'm going rogue. And apparently there's going to be a no friendly fire system in effect. And it's still kind of confusing on how that's going to work on what they're calling Rogue 2.0, is you actually have to manually decide to go rogue, and you can't accidentally shoot another friendly or a non-hostile agent. I'll cover more of that whenever I learn more about that. The biggest factor of PvP, since there's going to be that change of the way the Dark Zone operates on the rogue system, that's going to piss off a lot of people. However, there is a new PvP system going to be into effect. One of the maps that I've seen for it so far is taking place on the dock right next to the Intrepid. So on this dock right here, it's a small area. Then it's a 4 versus 4, player versus player, and being that it's 4 versus 4, the map, the playable section of the map, is going to be considerably smaller than like you would see for Last Stand. There will be no NPCs whatsoever. It's just going to be player versus player, 4 versus 4. Best team wins in a timed event. Okay? And now, Dark Zone and Last Stand is very gear dependent. You had to have had a really good RNG and really good stats on your gear, and really well thought out gear, and have really good skill on top of that. If you plan on doing anything, if making any kills whatsoever in a Last Stand, if you go in there with junk gear, then you pretty much might as well hang it up. You're not going to be able to do anything. And same thing with the Dark Zone. You get out there, if you're under geared, you got some guy that's coming out doing the RPM glitch and just shredding you, or with a high-end Deadeye build, and they're killing you with one shot with a sniper rifle. You know, it kind of sucks. Now, what's going to happen is, when you are in the 4v4, all of your gear that you're wearing gets max stat roll, or max roll on all of its stats. So if you look at, like say I'm wearing Final Measure vest. This is one I used in my last video as an example, but we'll come over here and we'll look at the Final Measure backpack. My favorite is going to be which we'll use the holster. Now, if you're not familiar with the difference between a regular and classified, a regular item, okay, well here's a regular Final Measure instead of a classified. The max you can get on any roll on your main stats is going to be 1272. And, you know, I have one holster that has 1272 on 2 items, and then like 1240 on the other one. Now, what's going to happen is once you get into this new 4v4 PvP arena, you're going to get max rolls on your gear set. So this would be 1272 for all 3 of these. For classified, the max roll, oh, that's a really shitty roll. Wow, that's crap. Yeah, it's going to be 1401 is the max on these 3 base stats. So now my Final Measure holster is going to get 1401 across the board instead of 1280, 1295, and 1313. And I'm assuming it's just going to be for the major stats and major attributes. I'm not sure about yet, because I know that like this right here I think is a max skill haste of 7%. But you'll get the max stats for your roll automatically going into that 4v4 combat mode. That is going to be freaking awesome. So then it's going to be based on, okay, I'm running a 3-piece Final Measure with a 3-piece Predator. Don't ask. It's just what I'm running right now. And okay, the reason why my stats are this high is I'm also in a World Tier 1. Don't get me started on that. I'm just going around doing pistol kills for an achievement. It's all going to be based on your choice of gear and your skill. You know, if you decide you want to run a Predator set with a Tactician or a Reclaimer and Final Measure or whatever, your gear set needs to be, you know, it needs to be viable. So you have to decide, am I going to be using an assault rifle or an SMG? If so, then I'm going to want to run a Predator's Mark because I can get that extra bonus on that. Or if I want to run a light machine gun, then yeah, I'm going to want to run a Lone Star set so I can get all those bonuses. You're running a 6-piece Lone Star and you get all those extra bonuses on your light machine gun damage and shotgun. I mean, actually, a shotgun may not be a bad thing to run in a tight 4 versus 4 PvP arena. The shotgun may actually become viable. And again, also with the Lone Star set, getting all the buffs to your light machine gun damage, supposedly in 1.8 we're going to get a buff to light machine guns. They're going to be a lot more viable weapons for general combat. That's going to be cool as well, especially if you're running a 6-piece Lone Star and say a Pecan. You're going to shred, man. It's going to be a really good setup. Now, one more quick item, and we'll go ahead and call this video based on just everything I've talked about on 1.8, is supposedly we're also going to get some new exotic weapons. So, really looking forward to that as well. I'm sure I've left off a few features here and there, but, you know, those are the majors of what I've seen so far from what's going to be coming up in 1.8. So, I hope you're as excited as I am, because we're finally getting some true new content. So, I'm looking forward to it. Hope you are too. So, to wrap this up, 1.8 is coming soon. The PTS should be out within a week or so. But definitely, to help me out, please leave a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Please leave comments. Okay? No troll comments, please. But leave comments. What are your thoughts on 1.8? On the new rogue feature, or the new exotic weapons, even though we don't know what they are yet? Or what would you like to see, or where would you like to see maps for the 4v4 combat, or whatever, anything pertaining to this video or whatever. Just go ahead and post comments for me. Those do help. And also subscribe. Being a subscriber, you can get notifications on new videos as soon as I get them released. But it also helps me in the long run, because I would like to get above that 1,000 threshold on subscribers. So please do subscribe. If you're not currently subscribed, take the time to do it. It's one click. I mean, what do you got to lose? If you do decide you wish to support me in my endeavors, there are links in the description below to my Patreon and to my PayPal. So if you want to make donations on a monthly basis, go to Patreon. If you just want to make a one-time donation, go to PayPal. You know, anything you can do to help would be greatly appreciated. And I thank you so very much for taking the time to watch the video, and I hope to see you on the next one. Have a great day.